Happy Sunday. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad to be back with you all today. Just going to have a brief video, like always. And like I said before, when I introduce my channel, I will always have a thought provoking question in my video. I hope you all enjoyed my last where I had my sister and my brother-in-law, and we talked about the young lady who went live because she was supposedly upset because her ex-boyfriend had purchased McDonald's for one of her children, the child that he shares with her, but not her other three children. We have since learned that it was a hoax. It was not they posted the video to go viral. At least that's the latest that I have read on that situation. Nonetheless, I think it is a real scenario. But anyways, that's here or there now. I just hope that you all did enjoy that video. And please feel free to go back and watch it and share your comments, share your thoughts. In that type of situation, who do you think was right? Who you think is wrong? What do you think should happen in that type of situation? But anyways, I am back to you today with another question. In another short, brief video. And a little later on in this video, I will bring my twin sister on. She's not here with me like she was before, but I'm going to bring her on via camera on my phone. Not real familiar with StreamYard and some of the other tools that you all use. You all know my channel is very new. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. So please be patient with me. But anyways, the question that I have for you tonight is, are female characters depicted by Black men portraying Black women a true image of Black women? So you can see in my title, it says female impersonators, detrimental or comedic art. What do you think? I'm sure you see there is a more than enough of these characters on social media. I won't even take the time to name them. I'm sure that you all are familiar with many of them. I feel some of them are just way over the top, and I personally feel that they are not all a true image of Black women. But again, I know that they do it, for comedy. I just don't know. I was reading through comments, and it was something about Madea. You all know the character Madea. She's one of the most famous ones, or Tyler Perry's character Madea is one of the most famous ones. And in reading these comments, I saw that other people really believe that this is how our grandmothers are. This Madea character, this loud, elderly woman who goes to jail often, who swears, uses profanity, who smokes weed, and and I know it's just a character, but a lot of these men do say that these characters are based on real women that that they've had in their lives. I believe Tyler Perry has said that this Madea character is based on either his grandmother or auntie or something. I don't know, but someone that he really did know. That's his story, and I guess he's sticking to it. But I don't know. Even with Tyler Perry, I just sit back and I think, that term Madea, that a lot of us do call our grandmothers, and our mothers call their mothers, that term Madea, and it's when I think of Madea and I think of my grandmothers, who my aunts do call my grandmother Madea when they were alive, both of my grandmothers, and the character Madea that he, that's depicted by Tyler Perry is not the Madea that I know. The Madea that I know is in church every Sunday, and during the week, my grandmothers, they wore the big nice hats and the nice dresses and the heels to church every Sunday, and they were very involved in their church and very involved in community service, and they prided themselves on. I remember my grandmother, getting the house prepared because it was her time to host. It was her turn to host the bishop. They lived in Mississippi, and we were there visiting. And the bishop, he was the bishop of their church, and he drove, I guess, hours away. So instead of him going back, he and his wife going back, they would go to a member's house, eat dinner, or and rest up for the night service, especially if it was for a special occasion at church, anniversary or something. And I remember my grandmother, priding herself on that, fussing at my granddad if he had his feet up on the table, just stuff like that, she's getting her house prepared for that special guest, the bishop and his wife. I remember a grandmother who, cooking fresh vegetables from the garden that my grandfather grew, fresh vegetables and fruit, and making preserves from the fruit. I just, the mud deer that was in my life, it was just not this character that Tyler Perry, plays. And I will admit, I was very young. I want to say that I was still in, I don't know if I was in high school. No, I wasn't in high school, but I was a very young woman when I first, very young woman, when I first was introduced to the character Madeir. And yes, it was funny to me at the time. She was a funny character, and he grabbed your attention. And now that he's gone mainstream, like I said, I just noticed that others really believe that these are the type of grandmothers that we all have, and it's just not true. And then again, like I said, you have these other characters that you see on Instagram, and I talked to my oldest sister about it, the one who was here, who I did the live with her and her husband. I kind of mentioned that to her, and she said, well, maybe these are, the type of women, maybe these are the type of women that was in their lives. And I said, okay, well, that's fair. But anyways, what brought on this is something that's been on my mind for a long time. But it really came to full force because I was watching an interview. Martin Lawrence was on Jimmy Kimmel, and some of you all may have seen this interview. So Martin Lawrence, he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy Kimmel was talking about the reboot of the Martin Show. BET is going to do not a reboot, but a reunion of the Martin Lawrence Show. And so Jimmy Kimmel showed a clip of the character Shanae. And the clip that he showed was a clip of Shanae when she had the date with Kid, if you all remember that one. And she offered him some malt liquor, and Kid was getting ready to pour the malt liquor in a glass. And Shanae, no, Kid, that's not how you drink this good liquor, something she said. That's not how you drink that. You got to take that to the head. And and she this Martin, the Shanae character, she just took the bottle and threw the liquor down her throat. And after that, she let out this big belch. And that's how you do it, Kid. And and then the clip ended there, and of course everyone was laughing, and so Jimmy Kimmel asked Barton, he said, well, how'd you come up with that character? He said, how'd you come up with, it's the interesting character, how'd you come up with that character? And Martin Lawrence sat there and said, well, it's my aunts and nieces. He said, that's how they are. He said, that character, that's how my aunties and my nieces were. And I could tell that Jimmy Kimmel was a little taken back by that when Martin said that. He was, he just kind of played it off. He was like, oh, he said, do they know that? Like, do they know that you said this character, it's pretty much a buffoon. It's based off them. And Martin goes on to say, well, yeah, Shanae, she was a strong Black woman. She was, she had her own, her business, she had her stuff together. She was they know she was a strong, that's who she's a strong Black woman. So I felt like he was just trying to, I guess convince Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know. His response was kind of cunning. So that's just kind of brought it, back full force for me. you know, and I sat there when I watched that, when I watched him interviewing him, and I sat there and I said, and I could be wrong about Jimmy Kimmel's reaction. It's maybe I was projecting, I don't know. Um, but I did sit there and I said, I wonder how Martin Lawrence's nieces and his aunties feel about that. I would have loved to have seen their reaction, but hence that goes back to my initial question. Are these characters a real, are they a true image of Black women and who we are? I want to know your thoughts below. And I told you I was going to have a special guest come on, my twin sister, and just to kind of get her thoughts on it. So I'm going to bring her on now. We're just going to talk about it a little longer. So let me go ahead, and I have a little more to share with you also. But let me go ahead and bring her on now. Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. So we are live.
Oh, okay. Hey,
So
I am my sister's mirrors. People out there, how are y'all? Hopefully everybody's having a great Sunday.
So I've gone ahead and I've kind of told them about, you and I talked about the Martin Lawrence interview with Jimmy Kimmel and how I talked about this they showed Shanae when she drank the beer, guzzled the beer down, and she burped. And I told you how Martin Lawrence said that this character Shanae is, it's kind of based on his aunties and his nieces. But the question that I have is, and I know that you've seen a lot of the different characters. Madeir, I talked about that being one of the main characters depicted by a Black man. You see a lot of the social media folks who have become, social media famous. A few of them have been in Tyler Perry's movies, who depict these characters of Black women. And so my question is, are they detrimental to us, or is it just comedic, art? Are they a true representation of Black women? What are your thoughts on that? Because I let me tell you this first. I did talk to our oldest sister Udrika about it when she was here visiting, and her thoughts on it was, well, maybe that those are the type of women that they did grow up with. But what are your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, I think that it's just them being comedians and trying to be funny. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, to try to be funny and to make people laugh, but you have to think at whose expense. Who are the people who you're laughing at? You're laughing at, Black women. It's like a joke about Black women, and I think that it's okay. But then it does get to a point where it's like, okay, some people believe that those are true characters. I don't believe that those are true characters. I don't know any women in my life who are like that. And there are some people who will take it and run with it and act as if, all of us are like that, or there is a group of us who are like that. And there might be some out there, but I don't know any of them personally. So I feel like, it's all fun and games until some people on the other side take those characters and they try to portray all Black women as being that. That's when it's an issue.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head for me, because I was just before I brought you on, I was saying that I was reading through some comments, and I can't remember. It was about Madeir. It may have been about a new movie that had came up. But anyways, I was on Facebook, I believe, and I was reading through some comments, and I saw that other people who thought that the comments that I saw let me know exactly that they really think and believe that this is how our grandmothers are. This is how all of our grandmothers are. And I know our Aunt Ree, she calls our grandmother Madeir. Aunt Ree, our mom's sister, called grandma Madeir. When they were living, and I said, these are just not that character is just not the Madeir that we knew growing up.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, it is comedy, but
At whose
it
expense?
who yeah. Um it at times I feel like I'm kind of over it.
Right.
Um
Absolutely, yeah. It's
it's
like,
just too over the top. And I believe that Black women really need to start. We really need to start being the gatekeepers of our own image, and
right,
that means when it comes to this type of stuff as well.
right.
Um, so, anyways, I just wanted to bring you on and kind of get your perspective on it.
Anytime,
Yeah, no, you can go ahead and stay on, but I did want to and you just chime in also while I'm talking. I'm gonna turn around because I'm gonna read my notes, but I still have you here and just chime in whenever you want to.
Okay.
So I did want to just go ahead and shout out some of the female comedians who also do characters of us, of Black women. And I'm so glad that these particular women are out there. There's a few of them, that I know of so far. I know there's EJ Speaks. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but I love her. And she does different impersonations of, mothers and aunties and grandmothers. And I'm like, okay, yes, this is, what I can get with. These are yeah,
Right,
this is who we are.
right, right.
There's another young lady, the Christie Show, Miss Charlene. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that character, Miss Charlene. I love Miss Charlene. Just
Right.
nice, wholesome. Um, then there's Anna Douglas. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but her character of the saved, sanctified woman who's just always ready to just, give him the glory. That's her slogan. And then there's another young lady that I just started watching. Her name is Just Ray. And she does different characters of grandmothers and stuff. So I'm so glad that these, women, and it are coming out. Like I said, we have to be the gatekeepers of our own image. And I don't even know that they know, that, how important it is for them to keep doing what they are doing. And I hope eventually that, we have more and more of true, of women, depicting different characters.
Right.
And I hope that they soon begin to overshadow some of these over the top, just, it's not even, so a lot of it is not even funny anymore.
It's
So I
not.
hope they start to overshadow some of these other characters.
Right,
But
right,
anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and give those ladies a shout out because
right.
I love, absolutely love them.
What they're doing. Yeah.
But there was also just a little bit of tea when Jimmy Kimmel was talking to Martin Lawrence that I wanted to spill. I don't know if anyone knew, but I did not know that Martin Lawrence's daughter was dating Eddie Murphy's son.
Oh,
So
really? I
that
didn't know that
yeah.
either. Wow.
So
Interesting couple.
yeah, very interesting couple. So
Yeah.
that might be kind of a relationship to kind of follow.
Right. Right.
And so there in that
Really
interview,
positive.
right? So then that interview, he kind of he kind of talked about that. I didn't know that, so that's just a little bit of tea. You got it from here first. Well, not from
Right.
here first, but I haven't heard anyone talking about this couple.
Yeah, I
Um,
have.
so, anyways, I wanted to thank you again for joining my live stream and
No
giving your
problem.
input on it. I think we're pretty much on the same page. It is comedy. They have their right to do it. But like you
Right.
said, it's comedy, but at whose expense? You know.
Right.
And hopefully, you know, hopefully people won't see it as so funny anymore, because like I said, a lot of it isn't even funny anymore. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, because it's like, it's so many other people are so easy to take, those images and, and you see it in public with, the Karens, which is totally different, but they'll try to make, Black women or other people look as if they are one of these characters.
Right.
When these are, perfectly normal human beings out minding their business and doing their everyday thing, but, they've seen this imagery of these, what do they call them, baboons, or people that are walking around with 40s and
right,
acting crazy,
exactly, and just
like it's hot,
Just
and
outlandish. There's someone in my comment making it with I'm sorry, I don't want to making it with McJim. Hey there.
Hey there, making it with Jim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Please drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this topic. But anyways, again, Monica, I want to thank you, my twin sissy. I want to thank you so much for joining. And you all, please like my videos, subscribe to my channel, share my video. And I want to hear what you all think about this topic. Is it just harmless comedy, or do you think it is, detrimental to us, to our image as Black women? Let me know what you all think in the comments section. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Monica, I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful Monday. I hope you all have a productive week. Thank you so much for joining my live. Let me know what you all think in the comments. I think this is a discussion worth having. I think it's a thought-provoking question. So let me know what you all think, and you all have a good night. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
And remember, I am my sister's mirror. Good night. Thanks for joining.